What's up? It's been a while since we had an update, but I got an update for you and a testimony. So I've been really busy, doing a lot of things in my personal life, but also, trying to put out as many teachings as I can. And so the update is that we are going to be getting ready to move soon. And I've been working on that as much as I can, but this is going to interrupt the schedule of teachings. And I just have a bunch of stuff that I have to get done. I have a bunch of stuff that I have to reduce in my storage unit as much as possible. I'm trying to get that to be very minimal because in case you don't know, let me just tell you a little bit of a background, and that'll help to explain what's going to happen now and give a testimony as well. So I was in New Hampshire. I owned a landscaping business, and then we had to move because the landlord's cousin moved into the house that I was renting. And then when we came here, it was just supposed to be a temporary thing. I was living at a campground. But then God led me to go into ministry full time. And then God has provided supernaturally for over 2 years now. 2 years God has supernaturally provided. And also, I just want to add a little bit to that to say that I make it a point not to ever go on a video and say, I need this and I need this, or ever ask specifically. I put out the channels for people to give of their own free will, but I never specifically say what I need or amounts of money or anything like that. And guess what? God provides what I need simply from me praying directly to God, because I think that's a lot more of a powerful supernatural testimony of God providing than someone getting on camera and say, I need this amount of money, I need this, and I have this need and that need. Well, then everybody already knows. But when you tell God and God knows, then that's a different story. And that's what God has done for the past 2 years, completely supernaturally provided. And so basically what happened is, ever since I've been in the full-time ministry, God has provided at a level where, first of all, we were down to nothing. We started from scratch, and then over time, slowly, we've been trying to work towards this. But it's basically just been enough money to pay the bills, car and storage units and food and gas and all the basic necessities of life, just covering those expenses until now. And we finally should have enough to be able to get out of this place and move somewhere. I'm not exactly sure exactly where, but I have a pretty good idea. And we do need to number one, get out of the spot that we're living at, because they have some changes going on. It's just a place that we have to get out of now. We have to move on. And then number two, the area that I'm living in has been in a severe drought. The dry riverbed that I'm recording in right now used to be at least 15 feet high with water. Hey, that's all dried out. They've had a severe lack of rain for a long time. It'll probably take years for them to recover. And in fact, it's so bad, there's a lake near here. People are selling all their houses, selling houses down here near the river. People can't use their boats anymore. It's pretty bad. So it's not really an area you want to be in. You want to be near water for sure. So we need to move on somewhere else. And God is opening that door. Okay? And so, we've been through many trials and tribulations and praying about these things, but God had us here for this specific time, for this amount of time, and, to help us to grow. We learned a lot of lessons, and now He's opened the door for us to move on, praise God. So, but the thing is with that is, in order for me to move on, I still have a bunch more work to do with getting things out of the storage unit. I have to take care of a vehicle that I have. I only have one vehicle. I have no assets, nothing, except for this car. Need to get rid of that and get a little bit of a bigger vehicle that can tow, because I have a bunch of stuff to get rid of out of the storage unit, because, there's stuff in there that came from, the farmhouse that I lived in with the garage that had stuff in there. So I'm trying to minimize as much as possible. So we have the least amount of things possible. It'll make it a lot easier to move around. And we might stay, mobile kind of a little bit until we figure out exactly what's going on. But, we got to move on. But I have a lot of work to do to get ready to do that. And so it's going to interrupt the schedule of uploading. Now I may be able to put out some teachings in the time being, in between, when I have free time. But it's going to probably be older teachings that are like 5 years old. There's some that I want to redo a bunch of them. And so I'm probably going to redo some old teachings, but at least it'll be something. And in the meantime, it'll give you some time to catch up on some teachings. Now it's December. We got some Christmas teachings you can catch up on. We got one on Christmas, one on Santa Claus, got one on Romans 14. We have another one on meat offered to idols. A bunch of teachings related to that, and anything else that you maybe you haven't listened to yet. I suggest you go back, watch and listen to those teachings. Give you a good time to catch up. And then as soon as I'm moved on and settled, I'm going to get right back into it, coming up with new teachings and putting those out, and I should be able to focus on getting those. I have a huge list of teaching to do. I can't even handle any more ideas. There's just a giant list of things that I need to cover. It's going to take me a long time to get through this list, but, praise God, I'm not going to complain about, ideas for messages. We've got plenty to cover. And so, as soon as I get settled, I'll get back to that and trying to just, my main focus is trying to put out as much teaching as possible, as much sound doctrine, getting that out into the world through video, through audio. And then any of you, I suggest save hard copies of these things as much as you can. I'm going to save copies of these. And let's also try to preserve teachings, spread it far and wide and share them, but also preserve them in case anything happens. We can have censorship. We could have EMP, knock electronics out. It's good to have hard copies of everything. You can even protect them with Faraday, if you know what I'm saying. Stuff like that, okay? So, that's basically the update. So, it is an interruption, but at the same time, it is a huge blessing from God, and we should be able to finally get out of this place and move on and do what I need to do for my family. God has been, beyond merciful and abundant with his blessings on me and my family through this time in the ministry, and he's moving us on to this next phase. And I want to give praise to God for that. And I want to share that with you guys to show you this testimony of God's power and his grace and his faithfulness that he provides for us all, but also in the ministry, how he has provided for me when I've been doing this preaching. He has provided for me this whole time and is continuing us on, bringing us out, shutting one door and opening another. Okay? And so that's what God is doing, and I praise God for that. So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to give you guys that update, let you guys know what's going on. So, if you see things interrupted a little bit, that's what's happening. As soon as I can get back to it, I'm going to, by God's grace. I appreciate everything you guys do. All the prayers, especially, need a lot of prayer, please. All the comments, encouraging testimonies. I'm getting the ministry has been growing, so I'm getting a lot of emails, which is fine. Talking to people through emails, get a lot of good testimonies. I appreciate all that. It's very encouraging. I appreciate all things, all the gifts, everything else. Very, very much appreciated and helpful. And it is helping our family, but also to, further the gospel. That's the biggest point. We are trying to further the gospel sound doctrine, which is very rare today that we have that. There's a lot of apostasy and false doctrine and heresy everywhere we turn. Thousands of false teachers out there. It's totally insane. So you are helping to get this sound doctrine out there to as many people as we can through the internet, which is the best place to reach the most amount of people in the fastest way is through the internet, and that's what we're doing. And so, praise God for all that, and I thank you all for that. And I appreciate it all. God bless you. Have a good day.